think there's a Gemara, maybe a Mishnah, that if the nations of the world understood what the Beis Hamikdash was,
Midbar Rabbah tells us, if the nations of the world would have only known what the Holy Temple does for them, not only would they not have destroyed it, they would have surrounded it with armed fortresses to make sure that it would never be destroyed.
So I guess the question to be asked is, one, why didn't that happen? And two, it doesn't seem to be only the nations of the world that don't know this.
You know, we have become very disconnected from our spiritual underpinnings, and this is one of the greatest tragedies of the exile. When I made that response to Obama, I was so upset because he made it sound as if the only merit, the only zchut that the Jewish people have to live in the land of Israel is the Holocaust. And I wanted to make it clear, the Holocaust was a terrible tragedy, but the first and original tragedy was the exile that enabled other tragedies to happen. The connection of the Jewish people to their land is inexorable. And the Holy Temple plays a major part of that, but also the theme of the Holy Temple plays a major part in the spiritual benefits, betterments, and eventual perfection of all humanity. And this is what all the prophets tell us. Look at the book of Isaiah. Look at the end chapters of Isaiah where Hashem tells us that He will take priests and Levites from amongst the nations. He tells us that all flesh will come to bow before me, He says, every Sabbath and new moon. First of all, how can all flesh come now with the technology that we have today? It's very easy to picture someone coming. People go to Uman for a couple of days. I think people could come to Yerushalayim to go to make a pilgrimage to the Holy Temple for a couple of days. And the fact is, where in the time of the first temple to the second temple did you find all the nations of the world coming for Shabbat and Rosh Chodesh? You don't find that, but yet when it comes to the third temple, the prophet tells us there's going to be a spiritual awakening. And Isaiah tells us that the knowledge of God will cover the earth like the water of the seas. And then all the nations too will be united, and they will look again the beginning of Isaiah. The nations will say, "Can we go with you? We heard that God is with you." And Zechariah, who says that 10 men will grab the corner of one Jew. It's all about what the purpose of the Jewish people are in this world, and there is a reciprocal relationship between Israel and the nations, like facets of a diamond. And that's what the exile was all about. And we had to go into exile, and that was Hashem's plan, because of the enriching process, which was reciprocal over that period of time. But there are great sages amongst us and those who are not amongst us who have written and alluded to and made very clear that that period comes to an end. And when that period comes to an end, it's time for the Jewish people to rise up like a lion and to herald the redemption for all people.